kind of looks like I have a problem with shoes, but it's a little deeper than that. I've worked as a personal trainer for 23 years now, but for the last 15 years, I have been down the rabbit hole in the barefoot minimalist shoe category. And so I have tried many different types of shoes over the years. Along the way, I picked up chronic fatigue. So that stopped me from really going as full on into barefoot shoes as I would like to. But I have stuck by with a lot of these brands and these types of shoes for a very good reason. And that is because my feet feel so much better when I'm wearing them. Just to show you a few of the different things that I have that I've been working on. Nike Metcons. Nice wide toe box, but they do have a little bit of a heel lift in them. That's another pair of Metcons there for casual shoes. I've been wearing Jordan 1s quite a lot. I've got a few of those. These are Nike Metcons, but they're a Nike Free Metcon. Again, Nike Frees. Plenty of flexibility to the sole. The feet can move a little bit better. Still a little bit of a raise in the heel, but comfortable enough that I can handle it. Even my more dressy shoes are a minimalist shoe. They're like a boat shoe. Incredibly comfortable. Fairly decent in the toe, but still a little bit narrow in the front side here. Again, more casual shoes that have that minimalist sort of feel. And even a pair of Merrells, which are starting to start talking these days. And I've gone through many more than these ones here over the years, trying to figure out what is the best fit for my foot and which way to go. Over the last 6 months, I've been looking into different types of barefoot shoes, seeing what's available in the Australian market, looking at the different pricing for these different things, and then falling down the rabbit hole of AliExpress and seeing what they have to offer. And it is an adventure. And today I want to give you some information so that you can make the best decision possible if you want to try buying some of these barefoot shoes from AliExpress or another one of those online sellers. The first problem you're going to find with buying shoes from AliExpress is you don't know if the size that they say is the size that you're going to get. First pair of shoes that I bought, beautiful pair of boots, love the look of them, love the feel of them, but they were at least a size too small. Even taking the inner sole out of it was still way too tight for my foot. Couldn't walk in them without them being painful. I sold them on, I got my money back, the other person got a good pair of shoes, brand new. Everyone's happy. The next pair of shoes that I ordered was these. These are almost a rip-off of the Merrell Wrapped, which is one of my favorite shoes. But the only reason I didn't buy the Merrell Wrapped is because in Australia, they are very hard to find. The colors are inconsistent, if you can find them at all. And frankly, the one that I wanted, which is a gray color like this with a bit of orange on it, absolutely beautiful looking shoe, only available in the US. And trying to get it shipped to Australia, very difficult and also very expensive. When I found these, I thought I would jump at the opportunity to grab them and give them a try. Sizing, pretty good with these. I was pretty happy with that. I have taken the inner soles out of them because after wearing these shoes for, let's say, a month or so, my feet started to get bigger again. My toes started to spread out a little bit wider. I feel like my feet started to get a little bit longer, which does happen when you are going through these barefoot type shoes. It takes a lot more force on the ground and it pushes them out. Have been incredibly comfortable shoes in the time that I've had them. I did spill some oil on them and they got this nasty stain because I was helping my mate out with some car parts, and the way that I fixed that was I got some coconut oil and I painted it all over this with a paintbrush so that the whole thing is now sealed with oil. And these have done pretty well. I've had these for a good few months and they got a few marks on them where the toes or the toe bucks is bending. But other than that, they are great shoes, incredibly comfortable, even without the inner sole in. The downside that I've found with these is there is a little bit of wear on the forefoot here, which is far more than I would have expected for the amount of wear that I've had them. Now that could be due to the materials that they use, but again, we're talking about a shoe that cost me maybe $30 Australian. So you can't expect the quality to be incredibly high on everything you buy. it's a mixed bag. Now my next purchase, unnecessary for some people's view, but for me, I wanted a pair of casual shoes. So I found these. They're like a black, they look like they're a suede finish. Whether they're suede or fake, I don't know. For the $30 odd that they cost me, I'm not complaining. Now the first time I ordered these, they sent me the wrong shoe. But the first time I also only paid $15 for the shoe. They sent me a different pair which weren't even close to the right design. They didn't fit either. I on-sold them, and I think I sold them for 30 bucks and I only paid 15 for them. And then my $15 was refunded because they'd sent me the wrong thing. So I did buy these for the second time. They cost me $30. Again, I went and I coated them with coconut oil. So I just melt the coconut oil and brush it on with a paintbrush. Helps to seal the shoe, because in the past I've had shoes very similar to this, and if you are cooking in the kitchen or you are out in public and you spill something on them, they can get stains really, really easily. Will they stand up? I don't know. But for now, a great shoe, nice and wide in the toe box. These actually have a bit of a thicker sole on them, which is fine because, again, completely expect these things to be whatever. I don't know what the quality is going to be like in the long term, but I do know that there's only a small difference between the front and the back of the shoe. Again, they have an inner sole in them which can be removed. These ones felt a little bit bigger than the other ones that I've had, so I really bought these for winter when I'm going out, and I might wear socks with them anyway, which will fill up a little bit of the space. But again, as my feet get bigger, I can take the inner soles out. There's plenty of room to grow in them. They are a beautiful looking shoe. I could wear these out on any sort of casual occasion and be very confident with how comfortable they're going to be. They are a very comfortable shoe, and it looks like the shoe is going to last a good long time. We'll see how things go from here. To replace the boots that I ordered first that didn't fit, I actually went and bought something slightly different, but only a very slightly different design. Now again, these are very, very similar to the Merrell Wrapped. This is the high top version of them, and they've got this fur lining. It is like a fake fur, it's not like a wool or anything like that. And even the inner sole inside them is got the same fur lining on them. Now, if you know the Merrell Wrapped, and most of Merrell shoes, actually, they don't have inner soles in them. They just have a basic liner on the inside. So the advantage of something like this is when you are transitioning from a regular shoe to a barefoot style shoe, you actually have a little bit extra comfort in there with the inner sole. And as you get used to it, and as your feet expand and get a little bit bigger, you can take that inner sole out and then just wear the shoe like that, and it is still plenty comfortable. These actually have a thicker sole than the majority of the barefoot type shoes do. That extra tread there gives you a little bit extra cushion in between the ground. Now, I have taken these on several different hikes, and I absolutely love them. I can feel the ground underneath my feet. I can feel the rocks. I feel like I can grip the ground really well, and I am incredibly happy with these. Now, I haven't noticed the wear quite the same as I did with the ones that have the black sole on them. So I don't know if there's a different type of rubber that they have used in these, but they are holding up really well. Again, I coated these with coconut oil to start with to hopefully help to seal them, because the goal of buying these ones was for winter when I'm trudging around in the rain, because I do like to go walk in the rain, walk in the bush, walk in the park. My shoes are going to get wet. So far, so good. Are they waterproof? I doubt it. If you are buying the Merrell Wrapped Mid, which is like the high top boot of the, like basically a very, very similar design to this, you're gonna find that they are waterproof completely. Now that is the goal. And at some stage, I will probably go down that path and track down these shoes and get the ones that I really want brought in to Australia. But for now, these are doing great for winter. Again, cost me around 30 bucks. It might have been 35 at the most, but incredibly comfortable shoe. Absolutely love it. And every time I put them on, all I can think about is the apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur running through my head. It puts a smile on my face too. So I've got a bunch of shoes for winter, which was the goal originally. I bought these things just to test them out and get me through winter at a cheap price, see how they went. Because they've been so good, and I kind of have this thing when my brain gets fixated on certain things, and then, like I said, down the rabbit hole I go, I decided I would see if there was some summer shoes that I could get, something that I could wear in sort of summertime, any kind of weather, and just kick around in and still make it work. I stumbled across these first. These are they're labeled as an aqua shoe, a water shoe, but they have really good grip on them, so I could go hiking in these if I want to. Now, I have had some Merrell trail gloves in the past, and they give me a very similar feel to these shoes. I have taken the inner soles out of these so far because I started wearing them, and as I said, my feet have gotten bigger. They've started to spread out, and now this is one of the regular shoes in my rotation. I can just slip them on. They've got these quick release like laces where they're just elastic. I literally just slip them on, slip them off, and they are incredible. Absolutely love these. When I found those, I also found these. Now, I know the coloring is not for everyone, but I like my shoes a little bit loud and crazy, and I really like this little skull and crossbones on the back of them. Now, these are the lowest profile of all of the shoes that I've bought. They are incredibly tiny in between there. They even have small holes in the bottom where these little stars are for the water to leak out. But I've already taken the inner soles out of them because, again, my feet have gotten bigger and I'm getting comfortable with walking around on these. Now, I'll only wear them in small doses to start with, and that is to allow my feet to get used to walking on the hard surface, because you can't just go and it's like walk around bare feet all day, every day without your feet starting to hurt. So I do it in small doses, and by summertime I should be well and truly used to being able to wear these with very minimal padding and being able to wear them all day. So if you're going to start with something really small like this, you have to be very careful about where you start, not overdoing it too quickly. Otherwise you can get really sore heels. You can sometimes get sore forefoot. Same thing if you're going to start training in these, like if you wanted to start running or what have you, I would be wearing with the inner soles and I would be running on grass to start conditioning your feet to get used to it. If that's too much, and it may be, you may need to go back to a more minimalist shoe such as the Nike Free or the Nike Metcon. New Balance Minimus have been great. There is a bunch of different ones that are still very similar, where they'll have a very low drop between the front or back, or zero drop between front and back. But they might have a little bit extra padding in them, so they're just that little bit extra comfortable. The other one is these that I have been wearing today, actually. Now, these are the newest collection, or newest to the collection. I think these ones cost me about $35. Again, not necessary, but I love shoes, and since wearing my minimalist or barefoot shoes, my regular shoes don't fit. So half of those ones that I had on the table out in front are actually going away. I have sold or given away shoes, and I'm going to clear out most of my collection because I can no longer wear them. Those Metcons that I had to pull the inner soles out because my feet had gotten bigger. I just didn't enjoy the feel of not being able to feel the ground so much anymore. I really enjoy how these feel on my feet. I like the bright color of these, which is why I've got them. These still have the inner sole in them. So same with the other ones. This is the inner sole they come with. It's a very thin inner sole. It's got these perforations in it. So that will probably compress for a while, but also the perforations are for the water to be able to drain out of them if need be. Remember, most of these are labeled as aqua shoes. Having said that, they are still very functional for what you're going to wear at the gym. Now, these ones, they have a little bit extra padding on the sole. So this is not quite as thin as these ones, but they are incredibly comfortable. They've got a nice flat sole to them, so happy with that. And a nice big spread through the forefoot here. I'm just going to put them back on because I'm going to be wearing them all day today. So with 6 new pairs of shoes, I have spent a grand total of $180, which is pretty bloody good these days, because one pair of those Merrell wrapped would cost somewhere around that sort of money. I'm talking about Australian dollars. That's not the whole story though, because two of those pairs of shoes I bought and they didn't fit and I had to sell them. So I've actually pulled $60 back from there, which brings my total down to $120 for 6 pairs of shoes, which averages out to being $20 each for a pair of shoes. Now, I'm really happy with the quality of these things so far. As I mentioned earlier, one of them, the grey pair, have some wear on the sole. The sole is wearing out a little bit quicker than I would like. But remember, we are buying shoes from AliExpress. These are cheap shoes. We do not know what the quality is going to be like in the long term. But in the short term, I'm absolutely certain they're going to get me through winter. The shoes look great. They are incredibly comfortable and they are resilient for going on good hikes like that. The summer shoes, I'm already wearing them quite a lot. I haven't been doing any serious training in them yet. But again, as I said, that's something that you need to work your way into slowly because they will take time for your feet to adjust to wearing shoes like this. $120 for 6 pairs of shoes, I'm more than happy with that. I am not in any rush to go and buy any more in the future. If I do travel to the US, I will pick up the high and low cuts of the Merrell wrapped, which will cost me 2 or 3 times as much as all of those shoes that I've just bought. But for now, that is going to get me through at least the next 12 months and then some. And my AliExpress adventure on barefoot shoes has been a great success. Do I recommend you go and do this? Yes, but I do recommend you take a lot of time to have a look at the sizing. You need to be prepared to be able to send some shoes back if they send you the wrong size, because it's going to happen. You may have to on-sell some shoes because you have bought them and they just don't fit. And sometimes you forget to send them back or don't want to send them back, or it just gets too hard. Again, if you're spending $20 or $30, it's much easier to just on-sell them, move them on to somebody else. Everybody is happy. I also recommend reading the reviews to see what other people's experience has been with, because they'll generally say, oh, order a size up, order a size down. Take the time to understand the difference between US shoe size, China shoe size, European shoe size. There are differences between there. You need to spend the time looking in order to be able to get that. And again, I would say order something that fits with the intention of possibly having to reorder a new pair in 3 to 6 months' time as your feet get bigger, possibly needing to pull the inner sole out so you can wear them without the inner sole as your feet get bigger, because this is what happens when you wear barefoot shoes. Your feet will spread out, your toes will spread out, your feet will get bigger. I'm 46 and my feet have gotten bigger, and this is all part of it. Enjoy the journey, and remember, this is a really cheap way to enter into the barefoot market. I thoroughly recommend it. Love to hear your thoughts and your experiences of what you've purchased, what's been good, what's been bad, and what hasn't worked so well. Talk soon. So I'm out for a walk with the boots with the fur, and I've just tripped and fallen over on the road. A few marks on my hand, nothing too major, but one of the things to be aware of with these is these eyelets here. Oh, that one's been pulled out of place and it's twisted. The shoelaces have caught on that, and that's why I've tripped and gone down. So that is something to bear in mind as you make your buying decision. I do think that the original Merrell wrapped hiking boots had the same thing, because I believe I've seen that in comments somewhere, so bear that in mind. While I could lace the boots all the way up to the top here, I actually like when I'm locking the foot in and allowing this loose so I can let the ankle move freely. It's the afternoon and I've just tripped over again, twice in one day. Not impressed.